You ever wonder why your mind keeps drifting back to someone who treated you badly? Why your chest tightens when you think about them, even though you know damn well they were the wrong person? It's strange, isn't it? You would think that mistreatment pushes people away, but for some reason, with you, it did the opposite. With you, the pain created attachment. And you're not crazy for that. You're human, and humans are wired in ways they don't fully understand. Maybe no one ever explained to you why your brain clings to people who hurt you. Maybe no one told you that missing someone doesn't mean they were good for you. It just means they left a wound your mind keeps touching. A wound you keep revisiting like it's the only proof you ever felt anything real. It starts small, that feeling, that ache. You tell yourself you're over them. You tell yourself you don't care. But late at night, when everything goes quiet, their memory creeps back in like an unwanted guest. You replay moments you shouldn't. You romanticize things that weren't romantic. You rewrite the past because the truth feels too heavy. And somewhere inside you, there's this lingering voice that whispers, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe they did care. Maybe if I had done something different. And that's how it begins. Not with the person, but with the doubt. The truth is, your brain doesn't miss the person, it misses the pattern. It misses the routine. It misses the emotional roller coaster it became addicted to. The highs that felt like heaven and the lows that felt like punishment. Pain and pleasure tied together. That's what kept you hooked. Not love, not connection, just chemistry. When someone treats you badly, but then gives you just enough affection to keep you hopeful, your brain releases dopamine in unpredictable bursts. That uncertainty creates one of the strongest psychological bonds humans can experience. It's the same mechanism casinos use to keep people gambling. You keep playing because you never know when the next reward might come. You stay in the wrong relationship for the same reason. You never knew when they might be soft or caring or warm. And your brain held on to those rare moments like they were proof of something bigger. You weren't in love with them. You were in love with the potential of them, the version of them they showed only 5% of the time, the version you hoped would last. And here's the part people don't want to admit. You didn't stay because you were weak. You stayed because the pain felt familiar. Your nervous system learned somewhere along the way that inconsistency is normal, that you have to fight for attention, that love is something you earn, not something you receive freely. Maybe it was a parent, maybe it was an early relationship, maybe it was the way you were treated when you were too young to understand it wasn't your fault. Your brain memorized the shape of the wound, and now it tries to recreate it with anyone who comes close. That's why you miss them. That's why you replay the good parts and minimize the bad ones. Your mind is trying to protect you from feeling abandoned, so it idealizes the person instead of confronting the truth. The truth is simple. You miss the way you felt when they briefly chose you. You miss the validation, not the person. You miss the idea of being wanted, not the reality of how they treated you. You miss the story you told yourself about what you two could have been, not what you actually were. Every time they came back after hurting you, your brain got a hit of relief, and that relief became your drug. The comfort after the chaos, the apology after the argument, the affection after the silence. That cycle rewired your emotional system. You weren't loving them, you were surviving them, and survival is a hell of a drug. But here's the part no one tells you. When someone treats you badly, your brain doesn't process it as a sign to run. It processes it as unfinished business. Humans crave closure, and painful relationships never give you that. They leave gaps, loose threads, unanswered questions. Your mind circles back because the story never had an ending. And in the absence of closure, your brain tries to rewrite the past as if that might fix the ending. But it won't. And deep down, you know it. You know they didn't treat you right. You know they made you feel small. You know they took more than they gave. But the heart doesn't speak logic, and the brain doesn't speak emotion. So you end up stuck between two worlds. One where you know you deserve better, and one where you still crave what hurt you. And maybe no one has told you this directly, so let me be the one to say it. You are not missing the person. You are missing the trauma bond, the addiction, the emotional roller coaster disguised as love. You are missing the little moments of affection your brain magnified into something meaningful. And you are missing the version of yourself who believed that if you were just patient enough, loving enough, forgiving enough, they would finally treat you the way you deserved. You weren't attached to them. You were attached to the hope. It's not your fault. You were conditioned. Not consciously, but emotionally. And breaking that conditioning feels like withdrawal. That's why letting go hurts more than staying. That's why healing feels worse than the relationship ever did. That's why peace feels uncomfortable and chaos feels like home. You've been wired to chase the pain that once broke you. But here's something you need to hear. Missing them doesn't mean you should go back. Missing them doesn't mean they were right for you. Missing them doesn't mean your story isn't over. It just means your brain is adjusting to a new reality. And adjustment is uncomfortable, but not impossible. If you stick through the discomfort, something shifts. The memories stop feeling like wounds. The cravings fade. The hope collapses. And what's left is clarity. The kind of clarity you can't see when you're in the middle of the storm. You realize you didn't lose something valuable. You escaped something painful. You realize your heart wasn't broken, it was manipulated. You realize your worth isn't determined by someone who couldn't recognize it. You realize you deserve love that doesn't make you question your sanity. And you realize you don't actually miss them. Not the real them. Not the one who hurt you. Not the one who made you feel like love was something you had to earn. What you miss is the story, the fantasy, the dream of what it could have been. And now that the dream is gone, your mind mourns it like a loss. But what you're feeling isn't grief, it's withdrawal. And withdrawal always passes. There will come a day when you look back and ask yourself why you ever settled for so little. Why you let someone treat you like you didn't matter. Why you held on to someone who wasn't holding on to you. And when that day comes, you won't miss them anymore. You'll miss the version of you who didn't know any better. So let me leave you with this. The fact that you miss someone who treated you badly doesn't mean you're confused. It means you're healing. It means your brain is rewiring. It means you're breaking a cycle you didn't choose to start. And healing feels like losing something. But what you're losing is the illusion. If this hit you, you're not alone. And if you want more like this, subscribe, because we talk about the parts of you that you don't say out loud. Drop a heart in the comments if you're ready to stop missing the people who never deserved you.